how the left skews polls to lie about the numbers and why the results are always wrong, and always wrong to favor the left. The most recent poll from June 25th, just last week, by Harvard University, working with the Harris Research Center, did exactly this. This poll was provided exclusively to The Hill, and that's where they broadcast it. All three of these organizations are undisputably left. The poll's results are still good for Donald Trump. In fact, they are great for Donald Trump if you notice how the Harvard-Harris pollsters cheated to skew the numbers to directly favor the left and completely against Donald Trump and the right. Trump's overall approval rating came in at 47%. This rose 3 points since their last poll. While The Hill would not release the actual numbers for Hispanics and African Americans, they did admit that the Hispanic support for Donald Trump has increased 10 points over the past 30 days. And African American support for Donald Trump has increased 6 points. I find it very interesting that they did not give out the actual numbers to their approval ratings for these categories. In fact, I find it quite suspicious. But that's not the most interesting thing that I found in this report. While according to the Gallup poll of May of 2018, just last month, they found that America today is divided basically right down the center, with 44% of Americans identifying as either Republican or Republican leaning, 44% Democrat or Democratic leaning, with 12% non-committal. This poll that was just released by The Hill, done by Harvard and Harris, came in at 37% Democratic respondents to only 32% Republican respondents, 29% non-committal. Remember, according to the Gallup poll of May of 2018, the country split right down the middle. But for this poll, and basically all of the other polls you see coming out of the mainstream media, these biased leftist hacks cheat to skew the numbers by including more Democrats in the poll than Republicans. They do this to intentionally lie and mislead the American people. Now, the 5 points between 32% and 37% may not seem like a lot, but if you extrapolate these numbers out to reach 100%, that 5-point difference really becomes more like a 12% shift, not a 5% shift. If they actually took an even poll, their results would show that Donald Trump's approval ratings are really around 60% and might be even higher, something the left will lie and cheat to hide from the American people. This is how the biased mainstream media, in collusion with their polling partners, do it. Check this breakdown of Democrats to Republicans respondents in every poll you see, and you will notice that I am right. I've been onto this trick since before the election, well before. And that is how I know these polls were all going to be wrong. The mainstream media knows this too. They know that the polls are skewed in favor of the left to cheat the system, but they ignore it. In fact, they do worse than ignore it. They use these skewed polling results and broadcast them to the American people to try and control what they think. And then they act shocked every time that the polls are proven to be wrong. But they just ignore that and go on to their next skewed poll. I don't know who the bigger liars are in this situation. The biased hacks who work at the polling companies putting together these slanted polls, or the mainstream media hacks who knowingly spread these falsified results out to the American people. Either way, wake up to the blatant lying and cheating that is going on in the polling system here in America. It's a real conspiracy between the mainstream media and their polling partners. Don't just let the mainstream media lie to you. The American people deserve better. Wake up, America. Wake up.